So I just watched Terrifier 3 and I have some thoughts on it. Terrifier 3 picks up 5 years after Terrifier 2 around the holidays. In Terrifier 2 it led to sequel bait, so a woman gives birth to Art's head and his body reunites with his head, and now we have Terrifier 3. It opens up with a kill that I heard was just so brutal that people walked out or puked or whatever, but I didn't find it that brutal. Like, kids are killed, but they're not shown killed. They're killed off screen, but it does show some brutality, the aftermath. But I think I've seen more extreme stuff in other movies, so it's not like I was let down, but it definitely wasn't nearly as bad as the marketing made it seem. I love Art the Clown. Like, I think he's penetrated the zeitgeist. He's on Instagram and TikTok reels all over the place. He's basically the new Freddy Krueger, this charismatic slasher villain. And it's refreshing to finally get something like that. It seems like we haven't had that since the 80s. Terrifier 3 had some like legitimate hilarious moments. So you have like this over the top gore fest of a movie, but it's like a Looney Tunes character doing it. Like, we talk about the brutality of the bedroom scene, and it's just so over the top and brutal that you're kind of pulled away from it. But then Art does this little dance and comes in with some other stuff that you can't just help but laugh about it. And there's plenty of scenes like that in this without giving anything away. But there was a scene where the main character is tied to a chair, and every time he walks by, he slaps her in the back of the head. So going into this, I was like, what can top the bedroom scene from Terrifier 2? The thing is, they didn't. So if you're expecting something just way worse than that, it does not happen. Although there are some scenes involving, the shower scene's probably the most brutal that I've seen. That's basically shown in the trailer. And then there's also a blowtorch and a rat scene. So you got that to look forward to. But I don't think anything reaches the height of that one scene in the second movie. Now, to get to the things I didn't really care about it, and that is this franchise is getting bogged down with lore, I feel. I don't really think the movie adds anything else to the lore from the second movie. Yeah, you get to see flashbacks with her dad, and there's the sword, but there's really no other context other than that. Like, we already knew that he was predicting that she had to fight Art the Clown eventually, but it's just, it didn't really reveal a whole lot of new stuff. And that's the thing I'm kind of worried about the franchise. Like, the first one was just a straight up slasher movie, and it was very brutal, and David Howard Thornton's portrayal of Art the Clown is what elevated it over other slasher movies. The second movie introduced lore, which is fine. You want to do a little something extra for the sequel, but then the third movie, it's like, oh, there's a little bit more lore, and I'm really feeling that it's not going to elevate this movie anymore. I think it's going to start getting a little bogged down with it. I think maybe go back to the roots a little bit, kind of withhold some of that. When I think of lore in like slasher movies, it's given me like the occult in the Halloween movies with Michael Myers, or the demons in Freddy's Dead, and those are not things you want to get compared to. And I think most of my problems are probably towards the end, the rest of the movie and the third act. Like, it just jumps to the third act and here we are. It almost seemed like a dream sequence the way it was edited. And I feel like Damien Leone, the director and writer of these, has been listening to feedback, and Terrifier 2 was just too long. I mean, I'll admit that. I liked it, but it was too long. It was 2.5 hours. This is a little over 2 hours, so I feel like he's trying to get it to a decent running time, but it's sacrificing the flow of the movie and especially some of the kills. And that's the thing with this. It's like we get like a lot of nobody characters or even little minor side characters that get these brutal murders, and at the end, there's two major characters who are killed off screen. Well, apparently. I mean, there's one, I don't want to spoil it, but there's one that may have been killed, but I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to probably show up in the fourth movie. But yeah, I really liked Terrifier 1 and 2, and I enjoyed this enough, but I'm just going to have to give it 3 stars. I think I like Terrifier 2 better, but this is still a balls to the walls horror movie that I just can't believe is being shown in theaters. And I think it does get bogged down with lore and too many off-screen kills, showing R as the lackey, just the choppy editing that to bring it down to a reasonable runtime, I think, kind of hurt this movie. But of course, I'll go see the 4th one in the theater, so I'm just a sucker for Art the Clown. But what did you think of Terrifier 3? Let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you later.